This is Mrs. Tomasevich, and this screencast is about synthesis, putting it all together. A quick review. This is a step in the eWISE model for doing research. If you've gotten this far, you've already chosen a topic and developed a research or essential question. That's the wonder step. Then you investigated by finding good resources and evaluating websites to be sure you were getting the best information possible. During the investigate stage, you should have taken notes from the books and websites you found. It's really important that you paraphrase that information. That means you put it into your own words. There are two big reasons for this. First, if you copy someone else's words exactly, you're plagiarizing. The only time this is okay if you are using a direct quote from someone. If you do, make sure you put quotation marks around it and cite your source. You may use a few quotations in a research project, but generally you'll take information from many different sources and put it all into your own words. This is the beginning of synthesis. You may have taken notes on a sheet of paper, or typed a document, or used a note-taking sheet supplied by your teacher. If you haven't put all your notes into your own words, go back and do that right away. Because the other big reason it's important to paraphrase is so you can go ahead and synthesize your information. Before you can synthesize, you need to make sure you understand all the information you found. Reading the information carefully and putting it into your own words helps you do that. So, what is synthesis? Synthesis is when you take all your information and put the pieces together into something that's your own. It's more than just summarizing or repeating what you've read. You organize your facts and sort out what really matters, those facts that help answer your research question. You look for evidence from the texts you've used, make inferences, and draw conclusions. And look for the connections because synthesis is all about relationships. When you synthesize using eWISE, you take information, facts, and information and put them together in a way that's new. It's sort of like this. If you're in band, the sound you create doesn't come just from your own instrument. Mr. Powell gets everyone to play their parts together. If you're on the soccer team, everyone plays their own positions and works together. The band director or coach makes sure that synthesis happens. Have you ever baked a cake? You take all the separate ingredients, flour, sugar, butter, eggs, etc., these are your facts, and create something new out of them, a cake or your final project. It's sort of like a math problem. Fact 1 plus fact 2 plus fact 3 plus lots more facts equals the answer to your research question. Let's say your essential question is something like this. Why are some people creative enough to develop new technologies? You may have done some research on Bill Gates, founder of Microsoft, and in your notes wrote down information about his childhood. You probably don't need to include when he was born and a lot of information about his childhood, unless you found out something about when he was young that makes you believe it had to do with his creativity in developing new technology. In fact, Bill Gates had an experience in 8th grade where he was allowed to use computer programming instead of the usual math class. You might include that fact as textual evidence that his creative childhood experiences may have influenced him later to start up Microsoft. You've taken a fact, his experience in 8th grade, looked for links, and inferred that it had an impact on his future creativity. To get started synthesizing, sort your notes. Put them in categories or groups. Note cards work well for this, or you can give the same color or number to facts that seem to go together. You might use a graphic organizer like this one that's on the Media Center website. You might arrange your facts and ideas chronologically, or start with basic background information first, and then add more complex ideas. Think about whether there is a natural sequence for your topic. Make an outline or storyboard. Remember, if you have just relisted facts and changed a word here and there, you haven't synthesized, and you may have plagiarized. Think about what you wanted to learn from your research and whether or not you learned it. As you decide what information to include, go ahead and look for images, charts, and statistics that will best represent your findings and what you want your audience to understand. Check that you have everything you need, facts, evidence, quotes, and citations, whatever is required by your teacher's rubric. Craft an answer to your essential question and get rid of everything that isn't relevant. Analyze all your findings and then synthesize them into something new. Synthesis isn't easy to explain or to do, but most careers today require the ability to see the big picture and put information together in new ways. So it's an important skill and an important step in the eWISE research model.